So is the Ned rig becoming a Taylor Swift song in your arsenal? Is it something that's played out and you're looking for an alternative to it? Well, today we're going to talk about my 5 top replacements for the Ned rig, and we're going to talk about 3 different hook varieties that I use in a jig setup for fishing those alternative rigs. So let's start with number 5. So for number 5, instead of using a Ned rig, I'm going to use a TRD Bugs. It's a Z-Man bait, and it's shaped almost like a little beaver style bait. Looks like that. And that thing has got an interesting different profile, and it is different than a Ned, yet it fishes similarly to a Ned. It's going to stand up because it's got that Z-Man plastic, it's got some ribs in it, and it's got some appendages on it in the beaver style. You can unhook the beaver style baits by clipping the two so they stand apart a little bit and maybe get a little separation on the bottom. So number 5, TRD Bug. So my number 4 choice is going to be a TRD Cros. Again, it's a Z-Man bait. You'll see a theme there with the Z-Man baits and their floating ability, but the actual TRD Cros is almost a perfect imitation of a little crayfish. And a lot of times what Ned rigs are mistaken for are crayfish on the bottom. This thing can be fished in a number of ways and can just be on a Ned head. So at number 4, TRD Cros. My number 3 bait is something a little bit different, although it's made from a floating plastic. It's the Nico Zaza Hellgrammite bait, and you'll see here I've got it in an interesting color. This one happens to be in a chartreuse color, which is a smallmouth shocker bait and works well, but it's also on a profile that is more lifelike here with a Hellgrammite. And so put that same floating plastic, put that on a jig head and let that stand up off the bottom. That is a fantastic alternative to the regular Ned rig, and it comes in some standard colors, but it comes in this shock color too, and I like it in that chartreuse. So that's number 3. Number 2 is going to be, again, the Z-Man bait, but this one is a Hoola Stick. And what I like about the Hoola Stick is it's really kind of a combination of a Ned and maybe even a small worm, right? Shaky worm. So this one here, it's got a slender body, almost a worm-like body. You know, this thing is about 4 inches, 4.5 inches long, and it's got a little appendage at the top. This thing stands up. It fishes much like a Ned, but it's got a little bit different profile than a regular Ned. And I've caught a ton of smallmouth, nice smallmouth on a Hoola Stick. So that's coming in at number 2. And then coming in at number 1, and although it's not made of any Z-Man floating plastic, this one is a Get Bits Bait finesse tube that's in the 3.75 size. And it's a little bit thin-walled. This thing has got a great fall rate on a 3/32 ounce jig. It can be fished with forward-facing sonar. Tubes have always worked for bass, so don't sleep on a finesse tube in a 3/32 ounce presentation when you can get away with it, because it's got a perfect fall rate and fish just gobble it up. They'll eat it, come up and hunt it down before it gets to the bottom. Comes in a bunch of colors. It's something that not everybody's using, so that's my number 1 finesse bait. As a bonus, I'm also going to talk to you about 3 different styles of Ned hooks that I like. One is I've got a custom weedless Ned rig from 3G Smallmouth Solutions. They come in a bunch of different colors and high quality hooks. So 3G Smallmouth Solutions is a good one. One Cast Fishing has got a weedless Ned head in 1/8 and 1/4 ounce. And what I like about this one, it's a size 1/0 hook, but it's very fine wired and it doesn't overpower small Ned rigs. So this is don't want to sleep on One Cast. And then finally, I like the tungsten varieties that Reaction Tackle gives me. I get multiple different sizes for smaller Ned baits and for larger Ned baits, and I get a smaller profile for the given size of the jig with Reaction Tackle's tungsten. So they're my top 3. So there you have it, 5 options to change up your Ned game so that you're not just throwing the same bait all the time in all the same places. Change it up and be the first one to maybe usher in a new finesse style, a slight modification of something that's been successful, but this will probably get you some bites when other people are dragging the same bites through the same spot. So, hope you found those tips helpful. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time on the water.